Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Allotment Dram. This is a series of short videos where we sit and talk about different whiskies in the surroundings of our North London allotment. And as you can see today, I'm properly sort of wrapped up because it's a freezing cold day, 1 degree, maybe 2 at the most, but frost all around me on the ground here. And yeah, the allotment really doesn't get much sun this time of the year, but a lovely afternoon, clear blue skies, cold and crisp, absolutely wonderful up here. But of course I am here to talk about whiskey, and what is today's choice? Well, it's a bottle that actually turned up just after Christmas, and very exciting because it's a new independent bottling company. The company's called DS Tayman, and this is a single cask of Linkwood, 12 years old. So yeah, very excited to receive this. So thanks to Danny Saltman, the director of malts of DS Tayman, for sending us that. But what can I tell you? DS Tayman, as I say, a new independent bottling company, and they specialise in bottling single casks from all around Scotland. And the key thing is that everything that they release is certified kosher. So that's something really quite different. The other whiskies are kosher, but everything they do is kosher. So what then can I tell you about Linkwood? Well, Linkwood was founded in 1821. It's in Speyside. It's right on the edge of the city of Elgin. It literally sits right on the edge of the city limits, and is not that well known a distillery. It's quite a big distillery, 5.5 million litres, and owned by Diageo, but they use it mostly for putting into their blends. They have sort of 45 different blends for different markets all around the world. Obviously famously Johnny Walker and things like that, but that's what they use the majority of Linkwood for. So even Linkwood, there are a couple of bottlings about that Diageo put out, but really the only way to find anything a little bit different is through these independent bottlers. So this is why particularly we're excited to get this DS Tayman bottle. So what can I tell you about this? There's obviously some very small writing there, which I'm not going to expect anyone to be able to read on the screen, but what can I tell you? As I say, it's 12 years old. It's been matured in refill ex-bourbon cask to start with, and then finished into some red wine barrels actually from the Flam Winery in Israel, and it's 46%. It's non-chill filtered, natural colour, and there's 384 bottles just come out of this one cask. So when all 384 have gone, including this one, it's gone. So if you like the sound of this, then it's available in a couple of key markets, the UK and America in particular. Selling very well in America, and a couple of other markets as well. So search it out if you like the sound of it, because this is retailing for only around the sort of £50-55 mark. So it seems very good value for a quite rare distillery and single cask from that. So this is the second batch. There's 2 bottlings actually. There's a Kalila, 12 years old as well, which has been matured in wine barrels from the same winery, the Flam Winery in Israel, and these were released both back in the autumn, and then there was a couple of other single casks released sort of back in the springtime last year. So I think they're all sold out, to be honest, but these 2 are certainly still available, the Linkwood and the Kalila. So I think without further ado, we should have a little taste. Maybe before we do, just show you the package here. Very sort of bright red package, which obviously going to stand out well on the shelf. The Kalila's in bright blue, so you imagine you're scanning across the shelf and you suddenly see this, you go, oh, what's that? So good job there by them, and that's reflected on the label as well. So I've taken my gloves off for a very brief moment, so we won't hang around here, so open it for the first time. This is always exciting when you sort of open a whiskey that you've never tasted for the first time. There we go, a little pop, and then let's pour some. There we go. Oh look, straight away, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a lovely sort of reddish pinkish tinge, you know, coming from that red wine cask, you know, very almost like a peachy sort of colour, you know, very interesting. So we'll just pop the lid back on, because we definitely never want any accidents. As I've said before, you only ever don't put the lid back on and knock over a bottle of whiskey once before you do it again. Gloves back on and we're ready to go. So let's have a, as I say, the colour of that. The glass is actually steamed up, it's that cold here, so let's get on with it. Oh, that's got a lovely sort of honey and vanilla, as you would expect. There's like a zesty quality, zesty like lemons, or maybe even something like pink grapefruit or something like that. Really interesting. And then there's obviously sometimes when it's really cold, you know, it does kind of inhibit a whiskey a little bit, but even now I'm getting something like sort of like a strawberry or raspberry jam, you know, some sort of red fruit like that. Really interesting. Let's have a taste. It's got an instant juiciness to it. Yeah, some fresh sort of green apple, a bit of this sort of lemon grapefruit zest again, and then this lovely sort of red fruits, you know, like these like a strawberry jam, or maybe even, you know, those freeze-dried raspberries. That's a really odd tasting note, but it's what kind of leapt out straight away. And then you've got some, you know, sort of honey, you've got some vanilla, almost like a white chocolate as well. Let's have another taste. Yeah, it's just got a, love this vibrancy to it. And then this sort of red fruit, there's a bit of golden syrup and maybe a pinch of something like cinnamon or nutmeg in there as well. It's really interesting and delicious combination actually. So yeah, for 55 pounds that it's going for, that gives you a lot, you know, gives you a lot for your money, and really interesting, you know. Wine finishes can be a bit hit and miss, as some of you will know, but this one has this sort of delicious roundness without any of that really kind of gripping sort of tannic quality. So yeah, wonderful that. So yeah, definitely worth searching out, and it'll be really interesting. Obviously, you know, the first batch was 2 single casks, this batch is 2 single casks, so it'll be really interesting to see what DS Tayman sort of come up with as time goes on, and sort of what else is in the pipeline, because, you know, that's really good. And to offer something that's, you know, certified kosher as well, as a real point of difference. So yeah, excellent. What a great way to warm myself up on this sort of cold, frosty afternoon. So thanks for watching. We'll leave you to get on with whatever you were doing before you stumbled across this video, and yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you again very soon. Cheers.